everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is going to be your alignment reading for April the 7th and 8th of 2021. Okay, so the alignment reading does consist of 5 cards, and it's a spread that I developed in the hopes of being able to give guidance for areas that require alignment. This is a general reading, so if the messages don't resonate for you, it just might not be the reading for you. I'm planning on doing these more frequently, and I will be starting to divide them by the zodiac signs very soon. So that should hopefully add some more specific messages for you. Okay, one more card, please. Okay. Now I have my other decks here ready to go to help us clarify any messages. Okay, so here's our first card. Okay, so we've got the 5 cards ready to go. And what I can see here right away is that you're in a situation right now where you are not necessarily open to experiencing emotion. You have recently, very recently, gone through a situation where a lot of truth was revealed to you. A lot of illusions were shattered. With respect to a relationship, not necessarily a romantic relationship, but it certainly could be a romantic relationship, but it could have been a friendship, could have been a relationship with a family member. It seems here that you really had to heal from something, okay? And it's a good time for you right now. The time that you're in right now suggests that you are healing, and that, you know, there's recovery from whatever it was that happened that led to this feeling of emotional, that led to this feeling that you have in the present where you need to guard your emotions. You're in a situation right now where something is trying to get your attention. Could be a person, could be a new opportunity, could be a relationship. Something from the past potentially is trying to get your attention, and you're really needing to reevaluate where you see yourself in this situation in the present, because there have been a number of illusions that have been completely eradicated. You have seen the truth about quite a bit recently, which also explains why you're feeling closed off to feeling emotion. Okay, so let me show you some of these cards. The card that you received in the first position, which suggests the area that requires balance, is the Queen of Cups in reverse. So the Queen of Cups in reverse really does suggest a time where someone is denying their emotion. You could even be hiding from your emotion by using substances, or maybe doing, doing things to distract yourself so that you don't have to feel. What's coming to mind, for example, is maybe excessive shopping, maybe having a few glasses of wine instead of just the normal amount. Maybe getting high in the afternoon if you normally only get high before bed. Maybe, you're starting to try to escape reality because you don't want to feel the feelings that are coming up for you, while you are processing and reviewing something from the past that caused you to really have a sense of loss, but that you recovered from. You've recovered from it. And as a result now of having gone through this experience here in the 5 of Cups reversed, it's almost like you're being too pragmatic, and you're saying, well, Feeling emotion equals pain. So I'm not going to feel emotions anymore. And then I don't have to have pain. So you healed from this experience, but further review is required. You need more time to process whatever it was that left. The truth of the issue. The Tower card really means where you need to reflect on truth and to really see things, because it's not just a physical tower that falls apart around you, but it's also like a ideological tower, or a mental perception tower, if you will. It's like you suddenly see things completely differently, and as a result, everything changes. So what we see when we look at where all the cards were originally, so that we can understand the message we're getting from Spirit, is that in the first position, which is the Queen of Cups in reverse, that was in the first position, which describes where you require some balance and alignment. So that would suggest that it's in being open to feeling emotion. Okay, you're denying your emotions, you're escaping from your emotions, you're hiding from your emotions. That pattern needs to hopefully be examined. Now, when we look at the process that you're on a process of accepting things and recovering from things, but fully. You need to recover fully so that you can feel again. It's not a full recovery if you decide that part of the plan is, well, I just won't feel things anymore. I'm gonna hide from my emotions. I'm gonna deny my emotions, and I'm not gonna be vulnerable. Okay? So Spirit is suggesting to you that the third card here, which gives us guidance on the truth that you hold a truth that you need to reflect on this more. So that tells me that you're aware of this. That tells me that you're aware that further reflection is required, because you're still not feeling things on purpose. You're hiding. It's interesting that you're aware of this. So that's actually a very good, that's actually very positive, because if you're aware of it, I think you're aware of it because of what you just went through. You just went through a big time of realization, and a time where, in order to express the truth of the action, the truth of the realization, the truth of the experience or relationship, everything had to change. And so it makes sense that you're in a situation where you don't necessarily feel up to feeling things, but you know that that needs to happen in order for you to be fully balanced again. Now, the interesting thing here is that the card you have for the final guidance from Spirit here is the Page of Pentacles, and he's upright. So that suggests that there is a very nice new sense of physical energy coming in, which to me suggests a very nice healing from the Tower, right? So after the Tower falls, there's going to be a sense of physical energy that gets renewed here. And so that's a very nice sign. So hopefully that physical energy will also help you open up emotionally again, once you're feeling ready. But the balance seems to be your emotion is being blocked by sort of the illusion being brought down all around you with respect to something that you have been working on healing. And on some level that you need more time to heal. You know that. And because you need more time to heal, you're not willing to feel any emotions right now, which is very interesting. See, like number 3 is the truth behind 1. So the reason you have decided that you don't want to feel anymore is because you're like, further examination is required. I need to still understand the situation that I just went through before I am allowing myself to be vulnerable and to feel. But there is a message here of don't try to escape your feelings in the meantime. There is definitely an energy about escaping emotions through things like substances or shopping or, you know, just being distracted and avoiding being mindful, right? Like constantly needing a distraction. So I do want to clarify this situation, the Tower card. I'm curious if we can get some clarification on what the Tower energy here, why is the Tower here? What did you recently realize about something that was emotional for you and you've recovered from it, but the emotions are still unhealed. The emotions are still feeling blocked. Interesting. You got the Page of Pentacles again. So that's the guidance card, the same guidance card. So potentially what that says to me, because I was asking about the Tower, was that you could have faced a physical loss. Like there could have been a loss maybe with a job. Maybe there was a job loss. And so the sense of self became a little bit vulnerable and you didn't like that. And so obviously, you know, that shook you because now you feel like you need to start over again on the physical level. So this could be an emotional situation about something in the physical world that had to do with how you see yourself. So maybe it was a situation involving a career or let's see, I want some more clarity on the Tower card, please. Cards keep wanting to flip but not fall. So I keep looking at the ones that are flipping up, but I want a card that falls. Oh, wow. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So we've got the Page of Swords. So that suggests that whatever the Tower situation was a perception that you had in your mind about something. It was a mental shift about something that was providing prosperity to you. And there was an element of envy or jealousy around you that you had to sort of be looking over your shoulder. So that tells me there may have been some element of a betrayal here. Because if you were feeling like whatever you were doing was getting acclaim in the public world, okay? So something that you were doing that really helped you identify who you were in the physical world. You became, you know, you were working on it. You had a lot of positive energy. You were doing good work, lots of good stuff coming your way. And then suddenly we see that you had to almost fight for your creative vision because there was this perception around you. You were seeing that people may be trying to be, you know, envious, or they were your competition. Maybe they were being competitive with you. Oh, cards flying everywhere. One sec. Okay, the two that fell on the floor. We see the Three of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. So yeah, whatever you were doing, you were really good at it and it was going well. Like you had initial success, you had a sense of permanency, ongoing success. You know, people were getting jealous of you. You possess that raw energy to create things in the physical world. With the Page of Pentacles here, coming in right behind the Page of Swords in reverse. So that really says, you know, there was a big mental shift that happened here that initiated this Tower falling because, man, you started doing something and you were really good at it and you were getting a lot of public acclamation. People were starting to really pay attention to what you were up to. And you were really on the path here of prosperity. And then you really felt like there were people out to get you in a sense. Like there was almost like a situation of competition, envy. People saw that you were being successful and they wanted to like compete with you, right? The Seven of Wands is all about sort of fighting off competition. Now, as I'm talking and shuffling, I was focusing on, well, what's the what should this person be doing then? And you got the Hanged Man, which is very interesting when you put it next to the Eight of Swords in reverse, because that really does say it's time for reflection to really understand what this was all about. And it's also time to trust that, I mean, I love seeing the Hanged Man with the Tower, because that really says, I mean, mind you, you got the Hanged Man in reverse. So that says that you're feeling really challenged to trust. But when you see these cards together, it's like the universe saying, I took something, or I showed you the truth about something, and I need you to trust that it was for the best. But you're having a hard time trusting and understanding that it's for the best. But you do know that further study is required. So that study, you're right. Like you're right when further study is required. But also, we need to get this Hanged Man back upright so that you can be in a state of relaxation. You're not relaxing right now. You're in your head too much. You need to let go. And stop thinking about it, right? Like we did have this Page of Swords, which suggests that there is this mental shift that needs to happen because you're really in your head about this and not letting go and accepting the truth about why the Tower came down around you. What were these illusions? You have to look at it for what it really is. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do to add to this is I want to use the Storyteller Oracle cards that I developed to see what the story is here. What is going on here? What is this story all about exactly? I find these cards are fascinating because they really do tell a story. It's really interesting to watch it get pieced together with the cards that fall out. What's the story here? What's going on? Oh, you were in self-sacrifice, my friend. Yeah, we're talking about battling some serious shadows here. Something came to an end because you realized the truth about it. And you saw the shadow. I'll show you these cards in a second. But the first card that fell out is the same as the Death card in Tarot. It's called the End in this deck. And right following it is Sacrifice. So something had to end because you were sacrificing yourself. Truly, you were facing a shadow that was true. The shadow that you were facing was not false. You saw something for what it was. And you knew that it had to do with your ego. Wow. So perhaps this Tower card is come because it's your ego falling down around you. And you're not sure how to feel about that because of, I mean, it's interesting. Let me just show you the cards here. So this is the first one, the End. So you can see the Tower is in this card, because I really do associate the Tower with rebirth. It's another way the tarot cards can show you that something needs to go, right? The Death card does that. The Wheel of Fortune card does that. So, and I also added some swords here. So, something had to change. Something really had to change because you were in a situation where not only were you doing a lot for the cause, but you were actually serving yourself up to all those hungry people. You were in total self-sacrifice. That had to stop. And when you realized the truth about a shadow element in this experience, you realized it was really just feeding your ego. Okay, so whatever this experience that was, that you've been recovering from, really had to do with you realizing the truth about sacrificing something really powerful inside you just for the pleasure and satisfaction of your ego. So, which isn't a judgment. We do lots of things to satisfy our ego until we see the truth, which you have. You have seen the truth about this. So That is really interesting. Now I am going to photograph this, so I'm just lining it up for you. But that is fascinating. Now, I would like to know about the raw energy of guidance here. The guidance you received is that you need to tap into this Page of Pentacles energy that came up twice for you. That suggests you need to tap into your physical energy. You need some physical energy, something in even the rawest form, just to come in and help motivate you, to help you move forward again. It's got to start in the physical. You know, I always say in counseling sessions that until you take action, it's going to stay an idea. You know what I mean? Like, until you take that first step, it's not going to happen until you make it into some sort of action. You know, there has to be a beginning point to everything. And so I always think of it as like, you can sit on the couch and think about how hungry you are and how you'd love to have this for dinner or that for dinner. But until you decide to do something about it, you're going to stay hungry. So until you decide to get up and go cook, or you're going to do delivery, or maybe you're going to go pick something up, or who knows what you're going to do. But until you do that, the idea is going to stay in your head and you're going to stay hungry. So you know here that the action to take once you're healed is going to be physical. You're going to have to physically motivate yourself to start feeling emotion again. It's going to have to be something you do consciously. It's going to have to be something that you incorporate into who you are again. Because if you were the Queen of Cups in reverse now, that tells me that at one point you were the Queen of Cups upright, which means that you feel everything. You could be an empath. You could be so sensitive that, you know, when you feel things, the line between my feelings and your feelings becomes quite blurry for you. And so, you know, it makes sense that that would be the first thing you would turn off. Is you're not going to want to, you don't want to feel the way you feel right now, especially if you feel that there are people that are competing with you or envious of you and that you have to defend yourself. So there's definitely a situation here. I want to just get a couple of clarifying story cards on this part of the reading. What happened? What happened in this sense of prosperity? Was there competition? I mean, what's going on? Okay, a few cards just fell out. I just want to see. Is that all? Are those cards enough? Is that going to tell us the story? Okay, I didn't think so. Thank you. Okay, so what's going on this side of your reading? Let's have a look. So it looks like at one point you were very distracted. And you decided that something had to change. And in the process of that, you had a moment of an epiphany. You had sort of an epiphany moment where you started to see the truth about something. So that's consistent with the other cards. And then you decided to do something completely different. Now, the energy we're getting for potentially the individual who may have been the person here in the Seven of Wands, it could have been an air sign. Okay, now the interesting thing about that is that the Seven of Wands is associated with Leo, which is male energy, fire energy. But you're definitely getting air energy. So somewhere along the lines, there was an Aquarius, Libra, or Gemini involved. Okay, maybe they had something to do with this new plan you set in motion. Now, what we see after that was that you felt trapped. Sorry, you can't see the card. You felt trapped. You felt trapped, and then in order to sort of free yourself, you were very compassionate, which is beautiful. You used compassion to really unstick yourself from this situation. But you know what? I'm guessing that you were over compassionate because you did also receive the sacrifice card. So potentially your compassion started to go into the realms of sacrifice, but that may have been necessary for you to see the complete truth that this somehow was feeding your ego, not your spiritual self. So something about this was false, and so the illusion had to fall down. It all makes sense. And, you know, if this resonates for you, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. You know the story. You know what happened, right? And so I'm just going to lay these out again because I want to add them to the picture. But I'm very curious about the air sign energy coming through here on this timeline. I'm wondering if, you know, there may have been an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini involved in this situation for you. It's very possible. Now, if this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading to sort of unpack this more, please do email me. My email is in the description below. And I'm kind of curious about this. I really want to know what happened here. These general readings always make me so curious about, you know, whoever this reading is for. Yeah, send me a message. I'd love to do a reading for you. This would be very interesting. You know what? I'm just going to give you one last card here, an oracle message on this situation for some words of encouragement. What are some words of encouragement on this situation? How can we guide our listener to that Page of Pentacle energy? Life is a great big canvas. Throw all the paint on it you can. I like that. And you also got, don't be afraid of losing someone who doesn't want you. Wow. So don't truly be afraid of that, because you know what? If they didn't want to stick around, then that's okay. They don't have to stick around. You're going to throw all your paint at this. Wow, this is lovely. This is a nice message, because I know that whatever went down here, you did have to recover from. And you did see it as a loss, but you recovered from it. So there's a message here to keep that same spirit with you in this situation that you face right now. Wow. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this general alignment reading. And I hope you have a very nice evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more readings. Okay, have a lovely evening. Thanks, guys.